And that's another thing you're seeing a lot of the complaints are around people kind of, I think it's for the most part people expecting how Destiny expansions used to be, where they would just give you a mountain of content on day one. And I think a lot of people are expecting, like, where's all the content? Is this it? Like, but realistically, a lot of Beyond Light, I mean, it happened since Shadowkeep and since, for a couple expansions, but in this one especially, the content is very much time gated and staggered. Time gated isn't the best word, it's kind of got a negative connotation, but staggered. It's especially the exotics. It's not just like, here's the new exotics, they're all just chucked into the loot pool, get them, cool, whatever. Like, there's actual deterministic ways to get them. Most of them are time gated. You got Sniper, Hawk Moon, the raid exotic. They're all kind of spread out gradually, which I think is a better plan.
The objective is different, right? Like, they've understood that there are people in this game, myself included, I'm very much guilty of this, who will power through all of the content as early as they can.
Yep.
And their objective is to say, every week, regardless of what week it is, we're doing at least something that players can do which will keep them interested.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just going to be, it's Iron Banner this week. Cool, whatever. Sometimes it's going to be a seasonal event starting like Festival of the Lost. Sometimes it's going to be an exotic quest. Sometimes, like this week, it will be an expansion drop. Other weeks, it will be a raid or trials coming back. Like, there will be things every single week coming back to this. And I think that's kind of, I feel as though that's the new expectation that players need to set is,
yes, absolutely agree.
Like, sometimes you will have those big drops. And if you're working your way through all of that and you finish it all, great, well done, GG. But be prepared to have something new dropping every single week so that there's a way of always coming back for something. And honestly, like, I feel that is the best way to keep content delivery going. Like, it's been tried and tested, and much as people will talk about how, this I think was a thing much more at the beginning of last year, as opposed to the beginning of, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, when the seasonal model really started to kick off. People sat there and they were saying that they preferred things such as, say, Curse of Osiris, Warmind, House of Wolves, Dark Below. And I said it before, and I'll say it again now, I think that's ludicrous. People don't remember how bad the content droughts were in Dark Below and House of Wolves. People do not remember what it was like waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks to do anything, something, please, just something, right? And at the end of the day, this is a better system for the overall health of the game. You get a better way of telling stories because you can tell them over time. You can evolve them with the events of the season. You can allow players to gear up over a shorter period of time if they really want, but allow them to naturally gear up over a longer period of the season. Keep them from getting burned out. I genuinely do feel like this will be better.
Yeah, I think it's important just to note, just to be aware of how Bungie intends the game to be played. I think it's one thing I've just kind of adjusted how I play around that, because instead of trying to just smash through all the content as fast as possible and just super grind, just speed through everything, I'm starting to realize, I have kind of the past year just realizing how when you play the game, how Bungie kind of intend it to be played. And Bungie, the main thing is that Bungie have shifted it back in most of Destiny 1 and probably a lot of the first year of Destiny 2. It was very much, they did cater a lot more towards the hardcore, and there was massive amounts of content at once that you could just chew through. But nowadays, it's a lot more, they definitely cater towards the more casual player. They've said it multiple times. They want you to be able to pick up Destiny and put it down. They've been saying Bungie been saying themselves, Luke Smith, everyone from there has been saying for the past year or two, they want you to play the game a bit more casually. They've been saying it in indirect ways, without saying it so bluntly, but that's the goal they're trying to get across. So I think what you're seeing, I mean, I've been looking at the entire reaction to Beyond Light, and it's fascinating to see the different opinions of people, but I would say I would draw there's a connecting thread between all of the negativity that I've seen, and it comes from people who are trying to speed run the game, and they're kind of approaching, I think, not the wrong way, because there's no right way to play a game, but I think they're going into it with the same expectation of Destiny 1, where you could just speed through the game. There was massive amounts of content. It was very tall, but then after it would kind of fizzle out a little bit. But the majority of people, I've seen so many people that are loving Beyond Light, and they're just absolutely, they think it's the best expansion ever. They're the ones taking it slowly, and people that are saying they've only got maybe an hour or two to play a day, or they only have maybe a weekend because they're working, they're busy, of course. But from what I've seen, the general consensus, a lot of people that are trying to speed through the game, not just streamers, and obviously that's always the general saying about streamers speeding through, but I mean just hardcore players in general. From what I've seen, people that are trying to speed through the game and trying to just like smash it are not having as much of a fun time. Surprise, surprise. And people that are taking it slowly from what I've seen, seem to be have glowing reviews. So again, I think it goes back to, how does Bungie intend the game to be played? And I think it's very clear that in 2020, Bungie is not designing the game to be played how it used to be in 2017 and 2014. And if you get on board, I'm not saying you have to, but I think if you want to get the most enjoyment out of the game, try thinking about how Bungie is intending. Like you said, they've got the calendar, they've got the Season of the Hunt, they've got the Raid, they've got Trials, Iron Banner. If you kind of just look at it in that sense of terms of it's supposed to be spread out and staggered, I think that's personally the best way to have the most fun with Destiny.